this is Pack 365, myself Srija. So today in this session you are going to learn about the structure and functions of secondary lymphoid organs. So what are secondary lymphoid organs? So these are the places where the immune system actually fights the battle against the germs. So these organs, they do not produce immune cells, instead they are the sites where immune cells get activated for meeting the antigens like foreign particles like bacteria, viruses, and toxins. So think of these organs as training and battleground centers for B cells and T cells. So why they are important? Because they trap the antigens that enter the body. They create an environment where antigen presenting cells, they meet the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes become activated, multiply, and transform into specialized attack cells. So this is where the adaptive immune response start. So what are the types of secondary lymphoid organs? Lymph nodes. So these are the small bean-shaped structures which are found all over the body. They filter the lymph fluid. And the second one is spleen. It filters the blood, not the lymph. So they removes the old red blood cells. And mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, MALT. So these are the immune tissues that are located in the mucosal surfaces. Like they are the entry points for most of the infections like mouth, gut, lungs. So they include the tonsils, which are located back of the throat. Peyer's patches, these are found in the small intestine. Appendix, they contain the lymphoid tissue important in the gut immunity. And bronchus associated lymphoid tissue, BALT. So these are present in the respiratory tract. It protects against the airborne pathogens and other mucosal clusters. So other mucosal clusters, these are the scattered immune cells in the digestive, respiratory, and the urogenital mucosa. So what is the key function of secondary lymphoid organ? It is the primary site of the adaptive immune activation. So this is where the naive B cells and T cells, they become activated after meeting antigens. So once activated, B cells, they form the plasma cells, they produce the antibodies, whereas T cells, they become the cytotoxic T cells or helper T cells. So let's discuss about each and every lymphoid organ into brief. So the first one is lymph nodes. So what are lymph nodes? They are the small bean-shaped structures which are found along the lymphatic vessels. So they work as a filter stations that clean lymph fluid and activate the immune responses. So location, where does these are located? So lymph nodes, they are found throughout the body, but they are highly concentrated in the regions like cervical region, in the neck, axilla, in the armpit, inguinal region in the ground, thoracic cavity in the chest, mesentery in the intestine folds, as well as pelvis. So these areas, they are common sites of infection where nodes often swell here. So what is the structure of a lymph node? So each lymph node organized into capsule, cortex. So what is capsule? It is the outer covering made up of dense connective tissue. So this capsule, it gives strength and maintains shape. So it also sends some inward extensions called as trabeculae that divide the lymph node into compartments. So what is the function of the capsule? It supports and it creates a pathway for blood vessels as well as nerves. So the second part is cortex. So the cortex is the outer region just under the capsule. So it is divided into superficial cortex and paracortex. So superficial cortex, it is rich in B cells. It contains lymphoid follicles. So there are two types of follicles within the superficial cortex. The one is primary follicle, the second is secondary follicle. So the primary follicle, this contains the resting naive B cells. So there is no germinal centers in these primary follicles. Whereas secondary follicles, they contain the germinal centers. So germinal center is nothing but it is the area where activated B cells multiply, differentiate, and produce the antibodies. So secondary follicles, they appear during the infection. This is why the nodes swell. So the second structure is paracortex. So paracortex, it lies between the cortex and medulla. So this paracortex, it is very rich in T cells. It also contains dendritic cells that present antigens to T cells. So this region, it enlarges during the viral infections. So what is a lymph flow through a lymph node? So afferent lymph vessels, they bring the lymph into the lymph node. So this lymph enters the subcapsular sinus just beneath the capsule. So this flows through cortical sinus as well as medullary sinus. and immune cells filter the pathogens. At last, the lymph exits through the efferent lymph vessel at the ileum, which is the only one efferent vessel. So here is a diagram which shows you the lymph node. So here there are afferent lymph vessels. These are several vessels bringing lymph into the node. And next is the subcapsular sinus. This is the first place where the lymph enters. So this is located just under the capsule, right? So this is the capsule, is located under the capsule. So next is trabeculae. So what are trabeculae? Here it is. So these are the finger-like extensions of the capsule. So they divide the lymph node into compartments. So the next is cortex. So cortex, outer circular region. So it shows the follicles, primary follicle, which is small and uniform, and secondary follicle with lighter germinal center. So the next is paracortex. It lies between the cortex and medulla. So it is very a T-cell rich zone. And medulla over here. So this medulla, it is the inner region with medullary cords, the dense black dots, as well as the medullary sinuses, which are the open channels. And ileum. So ileum, it is the site where blood vessels enter as well as efferent lymph vessel exits. So lymphocytes in lymph. So these are the small round cells which show the inside sinuses representing the immune cells filtering the pathogens. So lymph node, it contains HEVs, nothing but high endothelial venules. So these are the special blood vessels which are found mainly in the paracortex of the lymph nodes. So their walls are thicker and more cuboidal. They are not flat like normal vessels. So what is the function of HEVs? They allow the lymphocytes from blood to enter the lymph node directly. So especially naive T cells and B cells. So this is important because lymph nodes must constantly receive fresh immune cells to monitor for infections. So this third part of the lymph node is medulla. So medullary cords. So these are dense strands containing B cells, plasma cells. Plasma cells are the antibody producing cells. Whereas macrophages, they are the phagocytes that eat the pathogens. So this medulla, it also consists of the medullary sinuses as I have shown you in this picture. So these are the open channels filled with flowing lymph. So what is the job of the sinuses? The job is to filter the lymph. They allow the macrophages to trap and destroy the microbes before lymph leaves the node. So this ensures only clean filtered lymph returns to the circulation. So next is the flow of a lymph through a lymph node. So this is very important, right? This flow always goes in one direction slowly to ensure the proper filtration. This is a pathway. So afferent lymphatic vessels. So they bring the lymph into the lymph node, many afferent vessels. So next the subcapsular sinus. So just below the capsule. And then trabecular sinus along the trabeculae, along the internal walls. So next is a medullary sinus. So medullary sinus, it is a deeper space inside the node. And then this carries to the efferent lymphatic vessel. So this efferent lymphatic vessel, it carries the lymph out at the ileum, which is the only one efferent vessel. So this is the flow pathway. So what are the functions of the lymph nodes? So it filters lymph. It removes microbes, cell debris, cancer cells and foreign particles. It also traps pathogens from tissues like macrophages and dendritic cells. They capture and they present antigens to the lymph sites. So this starts the adaptive immune response. And lymph nodes, they are the site for lymphocyte activation, like B cell activation. So this B cell activation, it occurs in the secondary follicles, nothing but a germinal centers. So outcomes is the plasma cells. Through plasma cells, it produces the antibodies. And memory B cells, long-term immunity. So next, the T cell activation, it occurs in the paracortex region. So what are the outcomes? Cytotoxic T cells, they kill the infected cells, and helper T cells, they help the B cells as well as other immune cells. So this is where adaptive immunity becomes powerful and very specific. So lymph nodes, they often swell during infection because B cells and T cells, they multiply rapidly. So they increases the immune cell traffic. So swelling is nothing but it's a reactive lymphadenopathy. So there will be painful nodes usually indicates the infection. Whereas non-painful nodes, they may suggest chronic disease or malignancy. So this is about the lymph node. So next organ is spleen. So what is spleen? Where does it located? So the spleen, it lies in the left upper quadrant of the abdomen. It lies below the diaphragm and behind the stomach. So the stomach covers it partially. So this is why spleen injuries often occur with the abdominal trauma. So the spleen is very soft and vascular. So rupture causes severe internal bleeding. So now what is the structure of the spleen? Spleen is divided into again capsule, white pulp, red pulp. So what is capsule? It is a strong fibrous covering around the spleen. It contains smooth muscle allowing the spleen to slightly contract and squeeze blood out, important in animals and minor in humans. So this capsule, it sends trabeculae, internal supportive walls inside. So this gives the spleen strength and architecture. The second part of the structure is white pulp, which is called as immune zone. So this is the immune center of the spleen. So what are the features of white pulp? This is rich in lymphocytes. It surrounds small arteries entering the spleen. So now what are the components of the white pulp? Pulse, which is called as perianterolar lymphoid sheath. So this surrounds the central artery. It is very rich in T cells. Whereas lymphoid follicles, these are located adjacent to pulse. It contains the B cells. So primary follicles are inactive in this lymphoid follicles. So secondary follicles, they have the germinal centers. So they activates the B cell proliferation. So blood supply. A central artery runs through the white pulp carrying blood for immune cells to monitor. So next is red pulp, which is called as a filtration zone. So this is the blood filtering part of the spleen. So what are the components of the red pulp? Splenic cords, which are called as Billroth's cords. So these are the network of reticular fibers. So this is filled with macrophages, RBCs, platelets and plasma cells. So it also consists of the venous sinusoids. So venous sinusoids, these are the large vascular chains. So RBCs squeeze through narrow slits. So old or damaged RBCs, they fail to pass. They are destroyed by the macrophages. So what is the function of the red pulp? It filters the blood. It removes the old RBCs. It destroys the pathogens and it stores the blood. So here is a splenic diagram which shows you the external surfaces like diaphragmatic surface, gastric surface as well as the renal surface. So diaphragmatic surface, it touches the diaphragm. Gastric surface, it touches the stomach. And renal surface, it is near the left kidney. And you have the helium, splenic helium. So this is where the splenic artery enters as well as splenic vein leaves. And this is the cross section of the spleen. So in the cross section, you can see the white pulp which is surrounding the central arteries, and you can see the pulse around the artery, around the T cell area, and there is a marginal zone between the white pulp and the red pulp. So here is the red pulp which is occupying most of the spleen. So the spleen is mostly of the red pulp. And spleen is the largest lymphoid organ. So this is very larger than the lymph nodes as well as the thymus. So spleen, it filters the blood, not the lymph. So this is why it has no afferent lymphatic organs. So spleen stores similar to 30% of the platelets. So spleen is very vascular organ. So now what are the functions of the spleen? What are the main functions of the spleen? So spleen, it filters the blood but not the lymph, right? The spleen cleans the blood by removing the waste and unwanted particles. So it does not filter the lymph like lymph nodes do. So it destroys the old RBC cells, red blood cells. So when RBC cells, they become old or damaged, the spleen breaks them down and recycles the useful parts. So it also traps the blood-borne antigens. So any germs like bacteria or viruses present in the blood, they are caught by the spleen. So it also helps in the immune response to blood pathogens. So spleen activates the immune cells like white blood cells to fight the infections in the blood. It also produces antibodies. So antibodies are the special proteins that helps to destroy the pathogens. The spleen helps to make them. So spleen, it also stores iron from hemoglobin. So when RBCs are destroyed, the hemoglobin is broken down, right? And iron is stored for the reuse. And fetal life hematopoiesis. So in the fetus, the spleen helps produces blood cells until bone marrow takes over later. So this is about the structure and functions of the spleen. So the next secondary lymphoid organ is mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, nothing but MALT. So what is MALT? It is a collection of immune tissues which are found in mucosal surfaces. So what do you mean by mucosal surface? The moist linings that come in the contact with the external environment. So these are the places where germs enter the body. So MALT acts as a first line defense. So what are the functions of the MALT? It protects the mucosal surfaces exposed to the environment. It is the first line of immune protection in GI tract like intestines and stomach, in respiratory tract like lungs and airways, genitourinary tract like urinary and reproductive system. Now what are the parts of the MALT? Mouth or throat. So what is the immune tissue? Tonsils and adenoids. Small intestine, that is Peyer's patches. In appendix you have the immune tissue. In lungs you have the BALT. Digestive tract GALT, and genital or urinary tract is genitourinary lymphoid tissue. So when you eat contaminated food, germs enter the intestines. So GALT, which is present in the Peyer's patches, they detect the germs and it triggers the immune response. So when you breathe the dusty air, BALT in lungs, the response to stop the infection. So when you have a throat infection, tonsils fight against the germs. So this is how the MALT works in your body. And here is the explanation of, here is a picture of the MALT. So this picture shows the part of the intestine, the muscle layers, which help to move the food through the intestine. And there is a mucous membrane lining the small intestine. So this is a moist inner lining that absorbs food and contains the immune cells. And here it is a lumen. So this is a hollow space inside the intestine where food passes. So this diagram shows where MALT is located inside the wall of the intestine. And here this is the right picture is a microscopic image. So this is a histology slide showing lymphoid tissue in the small intestine. There is a lymphoid follicle, right? So this is a dense cluster of lymphocytes, combination of B and T cells. So this is where the immune reactions occur and antibodies are produced. And this is the lumen of intestine, the inner space where the food, bacteria and foreign particles move. So when antigens from the food or microbes enter the lumen, they are detected by the MALT. So immune cells in the lymphoid follicles, they respond immediately to fight the infection. So next lymphoid organ is tonsils. So what are tonsils? They are the masses of lymphoid tissue which are located around the opening of the digestive and respiratory tract. So they are the part of MALT and they act as a first line of immune defense. So they form like a ring-like arrangement in the throat region called as Valdeir's ring. So what are the structure of tonsils? So they are covered by epithelium. So they are palatine toxins. They are covered by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium which protects from friction. Whereas in pharyngeal tonsil, it is covered by pseudostratified ciliated epithelium within the respiratory tract. So what are the crypts over here? They are the deep folds that trap the microbes. So they increase the surface area for the immune contact. So it also consists of the numerous lymphoid follicles. So tonsils, they contain the germinal centers for rich in B cells. So they are also responsible for the antibody formation. So what are the functions of the tonsils? So they initiate the immune responses in oral and nasal cavity. They act as a first checkpoint for inhaled or swallowed pathogens. So this produces antibodies, especially IgA, which protects the mucosal surfaces, and IgG. It protects against the respiratory and GI infections. Here is a picture of the tonsils, which shows you the positions of the tonsils in the head as well as in the throat region. And this is a pharyngeal tonsil which is present behind the nose at the nasopharynx region, and the tubal tonsil, this is near the auditory tube opening, and palatal tonsil, they are visible on each side of the throat, and lingual tonsil, they are present behind the tongue. So together they form a protective ring around the pharynx. So this is about the tonsils. So next organ is Peyer's patches. So these Peyer's patches, they are located in the ileum of small intestine. So what are Peyer's patches? They are the clusters of lymphoid follicles which are found mainly in the ileum, the last part of the small intestine. So these Peyer's patches, they are a part of GALT, gut-associated lymphoid tissue, and they help to protect the body from pathogens entering through the food. So what is the structure of the Peyer's patch? Clusters of lymphoid follicles in the ileal submucosa. Meaning, what does it mean? They lie beneath the lining of the intestine. So they are covered by M cells, microfold cells. So these are the special cells that capture the antigens, bacteria or virus from the intestine, and they'll deliver them to immune cells. They are rich in B cells and T cells. So they help to produce antibodies as well as the immune responses. So these M cells, they act like immune gatekeepers. They sample the contents from the intestine and they start the immune defense. So there is a picture of Peyer's patches over here. You can see the villi with lamina propria. They are the projections that increases the absorption surfaces. And intestinal glands, submucosa, which are containing the lymphatic nodules, nothing but the Peyer's patches, and germinal centers of lymphatic nodules. So this germinal center, this is the areas where B cells multiply to make the antibodies. And you can see the muscular layers, the inner circular layer and outer longitudinal layer. And serosa, the visceral peritoneum, this is the outer covering of the Peyer patch. So the next organ is appendix. What is appendix? It is a small tube which is attached to the beginning of the large intestine. Here you can see the picture of the appendix over here. So what are the functions of the appendix? So these are rich in lymphoid follicles. It helps to maintain the gut microbiome. It acts like a reservoir of healthy bacteria. It generates IgA antibodies. So this is a very important immune organ, especially in the children. So earlier it was believed useless, but now it is known to support the immune defense and gut bacteria balance. So the next secondary organ is BALT, bronchus associated lymphoid tissue. So where it is located? It is found in lungs and bronchi, a part of respiratory mucosa. So what are the functions of the BALT? It protects the respiratory tract from inhaled pathogens. It is rich in B and T cells. It produces the IgA antibody. So this BALT, it is important in diseases like asthma, bronchitis and tuberculosis. So these are about the secondary lymphoid organs. So next is lymphatic vessels and circulation. So what are lymphatic vessels? Lymphatic vessels, they are a network of thin walled tubes that collect the excess interstitial fluid. So it transports it as a lymph and it returns it to the venous blood circulation. So these are the part of lymphatic system which plays an important role in immunity, fluid balance and fat absorption. So what is the structure of lymphatic vessel? They are thin walled vessels which are similar to the veins. So they have the low pressure system. So they contain the valves to prevent the backflow. Like they ensure the lymph flows in one direction, usually upward towards the heart. It begins as a lymphatic capillaries. It found near the blood capillaries in the tissue spaces. It have the overlapping endothelial cells that open whenever the pressure inside the tissue increases so that the fluid enters. So now what are the functions of the lymphatic vessel? It returns the excess tissue fluid to bloodstream. It prevents the swelling. Swelling is nothing but edema condition, right? So it transports the lymph, immune cells and antigens. So it moves these WBCs, the white blood cells, to infection sites. It also helps to immune system to kill the microbes, and it absorbs the fats via lacteals in the intestine. Like it transports the fat to the blood via chylomicrons. So what are the major lymphatic ducts in the lymphatic vessels? Thoracic duct and right lymphatic duct. So thoracic duct, so most of the body, the left side plus both legs, abdomen, left arm, left thorax and left head and neck. These are all about the thoracic duct. So it empties into the left subclavian vein. Whereas right lymphatic duct, it drains at the right upper limb, right thorax, right side of the head and neck, and it empties into right subclavian vein. So thoracic duct, it is the largest lymphatic vessel. It begins at the cisterna chyli, which is a dilated pouch in the abdomen. So this is about the lymphatic ducts involved in the lymphatic vessels. So here is a diagram showing you the lymphatic capillaries in the tissues collecting lymph. So lymph moves through lymphatic vessels, through then lymph nodes, and lymph nodes, they are the filtration stations, and then it moves through the lymphatic ducts, then to subclavian vein, and then back to the heart. Whereas the bottom image, the lymphatic capillary is shown in close-up. So the arrows they allows the show entry of the interstitial fluid. So valve, it prevents the backflow. So this shows the tissue cells as well as the interstitial fluid cells. So these are about the lymphatic vessels and circulation. So this is about today's session. I hope the session has helped you. So in the next session, you will be learning about immune cells and the functions of the immune cells. Thank you.